So unless you've been living under a rock or your massive pile of board games in the corner of your house, you probably are aware that Wicked is finally in theaters. I have always loved the story of Wicked. I love the relationship between Elphaba and Glinda. Plot is super fascinating, and of course, the music. I have always been so obsessed with all of the songs in the Broadway musical, and it's been on my bucket list to actually attend the Wicked show in Broadway. That hasn't happened yet for me, unfortunately, but now with Wicked being in theaters and have it being this full part 1 and part 2, the whole storyline of Wicked, now I can kind of experience it a little bit in the theaters. And I kind of have a feeling that I'm gonna like the movie even more than the Broadway play, because it just, I mean, the sets, the costume design, everything is just so top notch. Addie and I have tickets to see Wicked this upcoming week, and I am so excited. And I was kind of thinking, what if Glinda and Elphaba were sitting down for a game night? Like, what if they were like, hey, like, let's just sit down and play a board game together. Because you know, it's hard work being those two, and they have such busy lives, and sometimes, you know, you just need a girls' night in. So if those two characters were hypothetically sitting around the table to play a board game, what board game would I recommend for them to play? I'm not gonna lie, it took me a little bit to put together my list, but I did it. I'm gonna be making 2 different videos today. This video is gonna be all about Glinda. So these are gonna be 5 board game recommendations that I personally would recommend if Glinda wanted to sit down and have a board game night. I'm gonna be filming a whole separate video for Elphaba, so make sure to check that out. But for right now, it's all things Glinda. So starting with my number 5 on games that I would recommend to Glinda, the very first one that's going to be on this list is, well, it's a little bit of a stretch, so just bear with me. But the game that I'm going to be recommending is Wavelength. Bear with me, just allow me to explain. Glinda has such a fun, like, bubbly personality, and she loves, like, socializing so much. So I think kind of having, like, a party game like this would just totally fit her personality, like, perfectly. And not only that, but this game is all about making connections and trying to get people to kind of think the same way that you do. One of my favorite songs from Glinda is obviously Popular, and that whole song is about trying to get Glinda to think the same, or trying to get Elphaba to think the same way that Glinda does, right? So in Wavelength, I consider Wavelength a party game. I don't know if everybody does, but I definitely do. But it is a social guessing game which 2 teams compete to read each other's minds. This game is really cool because it has this box that's in the center of the table that this piece kind of comes up at. It kind of folds up out of the box, and what you're trying to do is you're giving clues to everybody else around the table, and trying to get them to guess what percentage they think that would hypothetically fall in. It's really hard to explain. I'm kind of trying my best here. This little piece that comes up out of the table, you can make it hidden or you can make it revealed. And so what's going to happen is teams will take turns rotating a dial to where they think the hidden bullseye is located on that spectrum. And when the teams think, you know what, I think it's going to be right in the middle, I think it's going to be about 50-50, then they will reveal where the actual bullseye is. So for example, if for this round the card said hot or cold, and let's pretend somebody gave the clue for, like, macaroni and cheese, people will be like, okay, you know what, I think it's probably right here, because it's not, macaroni and cheese isn't the hottest thing, you know, it's not like volcano lava, but it's also not like ice cold, so let's kind of put it right here. And then you'll go ahead and reveal, and if you get within a certain range, you will potentially score points. It's a really interesting game. It's a really fun game. Like I said, I consider this a party game, and I think it would really fit with Glinda, and I feel like she's just like a very, like, light, vibrant, bubbly person. I think this game would really kind of make that personality really shine through this game. So the next game that we're going to be talking about, or I guess my 4th recommendation for Glinda here, would be Alchemists. So in Alchemists, you are showcasing your alchemical know-how by publishing theories in this app-driven game. Obviously, Glinda is a very driven student. She's attending Shiz University, and she is going through her studies and trying to be the best wizard, right? Or the best witch. I think this game fits really well. It kind of gives me like study scholar vibes. It definitely I think it would fit with all of the students attending that school. We're going to be taking turns basically trying to brew or create potions. This is an app-based game, and it randomizes the rules from each game, which is really cool. But what you are going to be doing is you're gaining knowledge by mixing ingredients and testing those results again with your phone. And the more results you get, kind of the more knowledge that you have, and you can kind of deduce what potions or what ingredients will make what potions. It's a really fun game because you're all kind of hidden behind a screen, so you don't know what knowledge everybody else has around the table. So it kind of feels like a race. You don't really know kind of where you're at in regards to other players around the table. I just think everything about this screams just kind of like magical school, magical studies, and I think it would fit really well with Glinda and kind of where she's at currently in her life within the Wicked series right now. Obviously, we know Glinda loves all things beauty, and she loves making things look pretty. And so one of the prettiest games, in my opinion, is Canvas. And so Canvas is going to be my third recommendation for Glinda. So in Canvas, you are artistically layering your paintings to create a masterpiece and win the best in show. This game is beautiful, so beautiful. It looks beautiful on the table. But yeah, basically what you're doing is you're just making beautiful paintings, and the game is really cool because it has I always say acrylic, they're not acrylic, just clear cards that you will be layering on top of other cards and literally making a painting. I think Glinda would be all for this. To be able to make beautiful paintings and beautiful pieces of art, I think she would love it. So it says players will collect art cards, layering 3 of them together to create their own unique painting. Each card contains a piece of artwork as well as a set of icons used during scoring. Icons will be revealed or hidden based on the way players choose to layer the cards, making for an exciting puzzle. It just has that level of thinkiness of like, okay, how am I going to lay the cards this time, or how can I best utilize my cards? So yeah, I think that this is going to be, I think this would be a really great pick for Glinda. I think she would just love the beauty of it, kind of reflect her desire to kind of craft the perfect image of herself, right? Which she kind of tries to put on. So I think she would really enjoy this game. My number 2 pick for games that I would recommend for Glinda is going to be Paint the Roses. So Paint the Roses, it's a cooperative deduction game that's set in like the Queen of Hearts, or it's like Alice in Wonderland, so it's set in like Wonderland, but you're playing in the Queen of Hearts garden and you are trying to escape the Queen of Hearts. I feel like the game could easily be rethemed, honestly, to a Wizard of Oz setting, and having Glinda and Elphaba escaping the wizard. Like, I feel like very easily you could do a retheming of that because it is a very abstract game. Let's talk a little bit about gameplay in case you're not familiar. So every turn together as a team, you must guess at least one of the secret whim cards. You can't say what your card shows, but by carefully placing a new shrub tile into the garden, you are able to reveal cubes. Tokens that will show any matches between the arrangements in the garden and the secret whims each player holds in their hands. Correctly guessing a whim will move you forward on the score track, but the queen is always following and her speed automatically adjusts based on your current score. Guess incorrectly and the queen moves twice as fast, her axe ever closer to your neck. So again, this is a very abstract game, but it is a fun game and it's an interesting game, and just that theme of trying to escape or trying to get away from the queen, I feel like that is obviously very heavily present in Wicked, in regards to the wizard theme of this. I think would really relate to them and kind of what they're going through. So coming into my number 1 pick for Glinda, this was the very first game that came to my mind when I started thinking about this list. I was like, oh, it has to be, it's perfect. This is a game that she would absolutely love. But this game is all about making dresses for a prestigious ball while managing your employees, and it's just all about fashion and it feels classy, and all things just beautiful. And this game is Rococo. So in Rococo, you are the owner of a distinguished tailoring business endeavoring to increase your prestige. Each turn, you play an employee card that allows you to perform a task such as hiring a new employee for your staff, tailoring gowns and frock coats to rent or sell, or funding some of the many decorations. However, employees are not always able to perform all tasks, so you must carefully plan how you direct them. Everything about this game is so beautiful. Whenever I see the board, it's like, oh, I need to buy this game so bad. bad. But I just think that theme is so fun. And especially like in the Wicked movie, like her outfits and her dresses are so just beautiful and amazing. Honestly, all of the outfits in the show just look incredible. But obviously we know Glinda loves fashion, and so I think having a game that's centered on this high fashion with the beautiful gowns and everything, I think that she would just be totally drawn in by this theme. I mean, come on, a game about designing like elegant dresses for a royal ball, I think that she would just be all about that. Elphaba might even begrudgingly admit that this game is kind of fun too. Alright, so those were my 5 board game recommendations to Glinda if she was wanting to have a little girls' night in board game night. Right after this video, I'm going to be filming my 5 recommendations for Elphaba if she was hosting a board game party night, so make sure to check out that video. And if you have your own personal recommendations for games that you think Glinda might enjoy even more than this list, make sure to drop them below in the comment section. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today and letting me kind of, explore a kind of fun, fantastical world where Glinda would want to sit down and actually play a board game with me. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, it'd mean so much if you could do that. It really helps support us in everything that we're doing over here. But until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later. There's a lot of things that I can do, but there's even more things that I can't do. And one of the things that I can't do is singing. And I want to be able to belt out these Wicked songs so bad. Like, I just want to be able to stand and just like belt it out and go. And I just can't. And that's the hard thing about singing, is you either can do it or you can't. There's no like medium. It's like, and there's nothing I can do to like get better. Like, it's just, I just can't sing. So I'll resign myself to singing in the shower for the rest of my life.